If you look at the past 20 years, outcomes from breast cancer in terms of more women surviving the disease have been better than ever. Right now, in 2012, the breast cancer death rates are as low as they've ever been since we've recorded those types of statistics. So if you ask what happened, it's really because tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of women have volunteered to participate in clinical trials and change the practice. None of the drugs when I started in my career do I currently still use. There are a number of drugs like the aromatase inhibitors or Herceptin and trastuzumab, a drug like Taxol. None of those drugs were available. How did they become available? It's really because women participated in trials to help us understand we could be better. I think one of the things women are always concerned about is if they go on the clinical trial, well, maybe they're being experimented on. And I don't think that's really the right way to think about it. To me, the way to think about it is today's ceiling is tomorrow's floor. Almost all the clinical trials in breast cancer involve active therapy. They involve using the standard of care and trying to improve upon the standard of care. So the idea is today we do drug X, Y, and Z, but it's very possible the drug X, Y, and C will be better, and that's the clinical trial design. So again, the progress we've made in breast cancer really has been all the way from mammography screening to better drug treatments have been because women participate. The trial will be explained to a patient. The patient will be given an informed consent to sign if they're interested in. All questions will be answered. And in my view, women who participate in the clinical trial are much more closely followed because of the nature of the trial. That statistic has actually been shown in multiple studies. If you compare women who are on a clinical trial versus women who are not, even though they're getting the exact same therapy, the women on the clinical trial have better outcomes because I think they're followed at a much closer level. We make sure all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted when we do studies, and I think gives women to participate in the state-of-the-art care. The way to challenge cancer is to attack it on all fronts. So at our institution, for example, we do have some prevention trials. We're running a very large green tea prevention trial where women who have higher risk for developing breast cancer, and that mainly revolves around mammographic density, have a green tea supplement. And this is one of the cases where we do have a standard of care arm is no green tea supplement. We have lots of interest in physical activity and exercise as a way to reduce the risk for breast cancer. So I think that it's not just treatment. It really is trying to understand better outcomes. Right now we have MR imaging trials where we're trying to improve on our MR techniques. So it really spans the entire waterfront from risk reduction, prevention, screening, and better therapies. It's very important for women to understand there's multiple levels of review that ensure the patient's safety. In the context of our own institution, every clinical trial is reviewed by what we call the Institutional Review Board, and that Institutional Review Board is charged with the idea that the patient's safety has to come first, and safeguards have to be built in. That board is composed of lay people not involved with the study, so there's no conflict, and we certainly have to make sure that's the case. Within the Masonic Cancer Center, we have another board, we call it the Clinical Protocol Review Committee, which reviews the scientific merit of the protocol. So not only do we want to ensure patient safety, we want to make sure that the study is meaningful and offers a real advance for our patients.